give an overview of how these documents were put together. Wix is going to talk briefly about how the process actually worked. And finally, Cheryl's going to give a sense of what the intent was, why they are done the way they're done. And after that, we'll open it up to a few questions and hopefully have everyone to dinner who wants to eat within a half an hour or so. So we'll begin with Hugo. If you could give just an overview of the process.
Thank you, Peter. I think probably the most remarkable thing about all of this is the timing of how this came about. Most of you know, if you've been following the events in the communion, that the meeting in Jerusalem, the GAFCON meeting, was in June a year ago.
Yes.
Just think about that, June a year ago. And at that meeting, a call was made in the Jerusalem Declaration, if you've seen that, for the making of a new province, creation of a new province in North America, under the oversight of the Common Cause Partnership. And that was the commissioning of the Common Cause Partnership to proceed to form the new province. The Common Cause Partnership appointed in late September a number of task force to go through with this, one of which was ours, the government's task force. We held our first meeting in Virginia in October. And we were operating on certain instructions and guidelines. One of them was to adopt a minimalist approach to what we were going to do, get what the basic skeleton structure could be to have the church move forward. Secondly, we were interested in having the principal purpose of mission be the dominant provisions of the Constitution, and I think that rings through pretty clearly as you go through the meeting. And then the Constitution says that the mission of the church is advanced by the people of God. And so you'll see that a lot of emphasis is made on the people in the congregations being the main source of mission. And so a doctrine of subsidiarity, which was not a foreign word to us, because you find it as well as the other documents involving church structure, including the Windsor Report, was to be sure that the way this thing was organized, it would be organized from the bottom up. And whatever could be done effectively at a lower level should be left there and not go on to higher level. Those were the principles. The task force itself was composed roughly with an equal number of bishops, clergy, and lay people, representing all 11 of the founding entities. The founding entities by name were set forth in the Constitution itself. And so the representatives from each of those entities served on the government's task force. We had certain deadlines to operate by. One of them was that we had to have a draft of the Constitution completed by early December, because the council was going to meet in Illinois. Wheaton just was out of Chicago. I believe it was on December the 2nd and 3rd. And so we were able, in a period of 3 days in Virginia, to draft a document that was subsequently massaged to some extent at the meeting in Wheaton. There, the council, the leadership council of the Common Cause Partnership is acting as the provincial council for the province until the province can get itself organized. And so they adopted the Constitution at that meeting. And that document is roughly the one that is here before everybody today. There's some minor changes to it. We then met again in January in Atlanta to begin the work on the towns. We divided the group up into 4 different subgroups and assigned to each subgroup one of the titles in the towns. And that's how we went with the county. The basic structural document was the Constitution itself. So others are here to discuss a little bit more how we operated. But I can tell you that when we got wind of the action in Jerusalem in June, we knew that it would take the Lord's hand to get us to June the next year here in Texas to do what we accomplished today.